everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Hi. Hi, welcome to the start of another weekend vlog. Hi, hello. This is gonna be an interesting weekend, my friends, because I have an entire manuscript to get through, editing wise. That was one of the pens that was there. That's the goal, anyway, to be done the read through of this by Sunday is the goal. And I also want to read so many other things because I'm not going to be talking about this editing situation in this video very much because I have an entirely other different writing vlog underway. And I have the hankering to read a number of library books. I also got a new bookshelf today, or not today, yesterday, on like Facebook Marketplace. Also, hi BB. On Facebook Marketplace yesterday for like 30 bucks because I'm going to be part of a book fair later this year. It's this itty bitty little guy and it's like a little smaller size one that can fit on a table. So I'm excited about that. I bought that for that. And if I don't use it anywhere else afterwards, I'll just sell it again. So, you know, we love that. But I have these books off of my library stack that I would really like to read. I also have this that I would love to actually get a chunk done, if not finish. Oh, sorry, Freya. I scared her with the book. But there's no, like, I don't know. I have so many things that I need to be reading, namely fucking A Favored Fae. Because I need to boogie on that one. I need to make a plan. I need to actually start editing it because the cover reveal is coming up on May 11th. So that is like 9 days away from when I'm filming this right now, which is a little crazy, but that's also a Second Story's 2nd anniversary. Crazy. Freya, of course, now is when she decides to go play with the bell at the end of her wand toy. That is what's happening. This weekend I have literally no plans. I'm very excited about it. No plans is always great. The only, like, outside of existing on this couch and editing and reading, you know? So that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a weekend of editing and reading something. If I'm not necessarily in the mood for the Ashfire King, I will try out one of these 4 bad boys. We have House of Bone and Rain by Gabino Iglesias, which is a horror novel. We have Daughter of Chaos by A.S. Webb, which is a mythology fantasy novel. We have Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson, which is the sequel to Everyone in This Family Has Killed Someone. I am so excited about this. I do also have the audiobook for this, so this probably is like number 1 on this list. And then I also have this book called The Naming Song by Jedediah Barry. This was a book that caught my eye when I was perusing McNally a number of months ago because this cover is just so beautiful. And so I pulled it out and I read like the sleeve of it, and then I went and put it on hold at the library because it just sounded so interesting. And I've heard nobody talking about it, but it's blurbed by Erin Morgenstern on the back, who's one of my favorite authors. The Naming Song is a wonder, a masterful, marvel-filled journey of language and ghosts of monsters and meaning and mystery. There's nothing more dangerous than an unnamed thing is the tagline on the back. I don't know about this. I feel like this is something along the lines of The Starless Sea, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So something a little bit more interesting and speculative, I assume, with this one. So we have a little bit of a different variety of all these books. And of course, the Ashfire King is a typical, you know, fantasy. Those are the options for this weekend. And I have my cozy fantasy that I must read through and make a plan as to how I'm going to go forward and edit it this month. That is the plan of action. I also need to write a query letter this weekend, or at least start, because back last year sometime there was what is that called? An auction, an online auction in support of, I believe it was folks in Lebanon, Gaza. It was a whole bunch of areas out there that are out there, I say. A whole bunch of areas that are currently in desperate need of help. So it was one of those, it was during one of these auctions. I've participated in a number of auctions last year. It was during one of these auctions that I completely forgot that I also won a query letter critique. I remember when the person who, like, I don't know if she's an agent or an editor or something, but she was offering her services in this query letter critique. When I won that, she reached out to me, and then I said, oh, I'll have it to you for sure by the end of the year. It's fucking May 2025. And I remembered the other day and I was like, I never gave her that. Oh no. So I reached out to her and she was like, it's all cool. I'm going to Y'all West this weekend. So like take an extra week if you want. And I was like, this person is so kind. So I need to actually get going on that. And what I want to do with that specifically is I want to write a query letter for Sage's story, even though it's not yet written, because I have like an entire plot for it, right? And here at Far Horizons Book 1 in my little notebooky thing. So I would really like to do like a mock-up query letter this weekend at some point when I'm tired of working on the favorite fae, so that I can get that ready and send to Catherine, her name is, because I would love to have something kind of ready and to like go back and revisit, obviously, once I've edited this up to actually try and query it, because I do want to try and query Sage's story. The first book specifically, obviously, because you can't query a trilogy. Querying the very first book specifically. So to see if it has a chance to be traditionally published, because I think that would be pretty cool if it was. I do eventually want to be a hybrid author. So, you know, why not try with Sage's story? I think it's pretty marketable and it's probably going to hit more for like a wider audience than cozy fantasy does. So I think it would be interesting to actually give it a try. And I like getting advice from experts, especially on stuff like this, like querying or a synopsis writing. I specifically picked a querying offer in that auction that did not have a synopsis also in it. Like it was just the query letter that was being, you know, given feedback on. And I was like, yeah, because I'm not about to write an entire synopsis. Because I don't want to do that. I probably should, as an exercise, just write like a synopsis of Sage's story before I write it, before I start drafting it. But I will do that closer to when that is a thing and when a favorite fae is like ready to be published and I can start working on other things. Because my brain, here's the thing. This is just a writing tangent at the beginning of this video. I do apologize. But I have been listening to Writing About Dragons and Shit for a long time. As you guys know, it's one of my favorite podcasts. It is my favorite podcast, of course. They keep saying that it's good to have multiple projects on the go, like max 3. My brain physically cannot. Because if I allow myself to work on something that is not what I'm supposed to be working on at that moment, like if I'm working on a favorite fae, this is what happened last year. And the reason why I fucking didn't get as much work done on one project as I wanted, because I allowed my brain to do whatever it wanted and it bopped around into different projects and thus put me behind in all my projects. So I am a one project at a time girly, which is so unfortunate because I would love to be able to dabble in many different like writing things at once and just like be able to balance that, but my brain just cannot. So fun facts about me, I can't. So I need to finish a favorite fae fully before I let myself dive into the Far Horizons trilogy. But that is what is next. And I'm very excited to get going with that and to allow myself to stretch my fantasy wings once again. And not like cozy fantasy isn't fantasy, but like actual high fantasy is where my heart lives, and I cannot wait to go dark with what I've got in my brain. Anyways, so yes, this weekend we are planning on reading the entirety of A Favorite Fae and also hopefully finishing another book that is actually something I can count towards my reading goal, because I am behind as fuck on my reading goal. I think I'm behind as fuck. I think I'm 4 books behind on my reading goal, which is not fun. I don't like that. But my reading in April just was very, very, very slow, which is totally fine. Just a little rare for me. But May I know is going to be a slow reading month because I'm going to be focusing on writing so much more. So anyways, it's the first weekend of May. It's Friday night. I have a stack of library books beside me. I got my binder beside me that I need to start working on. I got a kitten that's playing in her little makeshift playhouse that I've got set up for her, which is adorable. Oh, she's got a spring. Iconic. I don't know where she hides those. They're just everywhere. And we're going to get this weekend started. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be hopefully productive and relaxing, which is what I need right now. Let's do this. Let's get this weekend started. vacuumed, everything's done. Boxes are gone. I'm gonna go take them out. Vacuumed. Fuck yeah. I got my sheets in the dryer. It's a good day. All my windows are open. It's like 23 degrees out today. Thriving. The baby's in a sunbeam. Hello, baby. We don't get sunbeams in here often, hey? Oh, you love it though. Nice big open window. Yeah. How nice. Oh, sorry. There we go. How nice. Oh, yeah. Sweetness. Hello friends, happy Saturday. I am here. Just was looking at my emails and realized that there was a package delivered to me on Friday and I did not go to get it. So I'm gonna go do that even though it's like 11:30 at night. I'm gonna go grab it from my mailbox and I'm gonna come back. But I've been editing for the past little bit, been rereading A Favorite Fae, which has been fun. And today I did read an entire book in like 3.5 hours while I was doing my nails and just puttering around. And I also cleaned my whole place, so that's great. But I'm gonna go get that package and then I'll chat more when I get back. But package. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Let's open this package. Goodness. I got you another box. I know how much you love boxes. If I can fucking open this. Come on. Here we go. I just don't want to risk damaging the book on the inside. Oh my god, come on. Why am I so incapable today? Freya, if you are playing with the wires, I swear to God, you are not allowed. No. Well, you were playing with wires, but not on computer wires at least. That's one thing. Do not. You're not allowed. Okay. Here we go. So this is an order from Goldsboro Books that I made pretty recently. Remember that bookbinding ban? This is before I broke it officially on the 26th, but that's fine. It's fine. Here, baby, you want this box? Sweetness. Okay. Anyways, I also did break the bookbinding ban again after saying I was gonna not, but it doesn't count because I'm treating it as a business expense. Because I asked in my last vlog if you guys had any recommendations for books that felt like what I explained like Sage's story to be. Lindsay reached out to me afterwards and said, oh, it like sounds like Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames would be a good comp, even though you said Kings of the Wild wasn't. So I immediately was like, well, I gotta fucking read this book. So I got it through my local indie. So that was a $24 business expense, which is always fun. Anyways, but this is, bookbinding bans are so weird to me because I've been trying to treat my bookbinding bans this year as like being more mindful of buying books. And yet I have still bought like 50 this year so far. No, that's a lie. Because I'm going off of a number that's including the book outlet books that I bought at the end of last year. So like in the 30s somewhere, which is still a lot of books. And I'm trying to be better about it. And I did buy like 3 $2 books at the thrift store the other day. We're talking about this Goldsboro book that I have. And then I will show you the other books I got recently. But I am like not allowing myself to buy any more full price books until my birthday. So I'm allowing myself to do Facebook Marketplace if I find one that I absolutely want and need. I don't need books. And I'm allowing myself to do thrift books if I find one that I will absolutely read. So book buying ban with an asterisk next to it. But no more full price books because they are just too expensive. This Goldsboro book though, oh my god, it's so pretty. So this is A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Allende, who I have been following on TikTok for so long, an author that I've been following. And this is the special edition, the special Goldsboro edition. Like, I need you to be in the light so you can see how glorious this is, okay? Look at this end paper, all right? Look at that shit. These are not end papers. These are spreads. Look at this spread, man. I'm obsessed. The bottom is just black. But like, this is gorgeous. And it's like a protected copy, which is really fun. It has like the library sleeve on it, which I think is really cool. So this is a new book. This is a debut from M.H. Allende. This is number 205, and it's signed by her, which is so cool. And there's a bookmark in it. I'm so excited. I think because this is coming out later this year in North America. And this is just such a stunning copy that I was like, yes, I need this in my life. And I have good feelings about this. I have never held a book with one of these like library casings on it, put on it so perfectly. This is like, it's meant to be. I cannot wait for this, okay? So this is a relentlessly gripping tale of revenge and rebellion. A Song of Legends Lost is an unmissable debut from a major new voice in epic fantasy. In the kingdom of the Nine Lands, only warriors of noble blood can summon their ancestors to fight with them in battle. But when Temmie, a commoner from the slums, accidentally invokes a powerful spirit, it sets in motion the wheels of a rebellion that will change everything. Secrets long buried will come to light as Temmie discovers that not everything that can be invoked is an ancestor, and some of the spirits that can be drawn from the ancestral realm are more dangerous than anyone can imagine. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Like, this just sounds amazing. This is like, yes, thank you to my previous brain. So this is going to be read very, very, very soon because I'm so excited about it. Okay, so the books that I did buy at the thrift store the other day were, I was about to grab my Tolkien's, those are not it, were this, slipped out of my hand, were this trilogy. I think it's a trilogy, even though on Goodreads there's a fourth one because this third book says the triumphant conclusion to this. And this is Margaret Weiss, who is often paired up with Tracy Hickman for a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Or not Dungeons and Dragons, Dragonlance stuff. But this is just Margaret Weiss, and this is a like Star Wars-esque trilogy. So it starts with The Lost King, and I saw this and I was like, oh yo, that looks like Star Wars. The King's Test, which is book 2, and The King's Sacrifice, which is book 3. And I was looking at reviews. Each one of these were like $2. And I was like, this sounds exactly like the kind of sci-fi or the kind of narrative that I want to be reading when I just want something delightful. Something that's not doing anything like crazy new or anything. There's a certain taste and flair to older fantasy and sci-fi that I absolutely love. And I especially love the mood and the vibe of reading it with, or reading it on these like little paperback pocketbooks. I love these so much. I know people have hatred in their hearts for mass markets, but fuck if I love a mass market. Freya, if you knock over my fucking coffee, I swear to God. She already lost one of my rings today. My nice sapphire one. She knocked it down the sink. So my dad's coming over tomorrow because they're at the cabin in my bathroom. I put it down for a second when I was cleaning today, and she was like, that's mine, yoink, and yoinked it into the drain. So I'm not using that sink. I am leaving it as is, and my dad's coming over tomorrow with the proper tools to help me undo that like U-bend and get it back, hopefully. So anyways, but yeah, so that's what I got at the thrift store the other day. I just had a hankering on like Wednesday or Thursday to go to the thrift store. And I have recently, because of last week and my like quest of querying, as I explained also in the beginning of this, I also have this idea to read some potential possibilities for comps, even though 2 of these would be rereads. Can you not destroy everything I own? A little monster. I don't think I would reread The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth, but I would want to reread The Adventures of Abina al-Sarafi, just because I want to see if any of these would be a good comp. So that might be a reading vlog coming up. And I also have Dungeon Crawler Carl on my Kobo that I would read for that as well. But yeah, I picked up Bloody Rose this week. So from the way that Lindsay described it, it would be a good comp for Sage's story. So I need to read it just to double check and, you know, be able to use that as a comp. But anyways, this looks like a coffee. This is actually an iced decaf mocha because I was in the mood for a sweet, cold treat. This is also so much bubble wrap. Look at this shit. There's so much bubble wrap. Oh my God. Great. We love that. The book was so well packaged. Anyways. Oh, okay. Let me get the book. Hold on. So today, as I was doing my nails, I decided, after I had cleaned and everything, I decided to pick up a book that I was reading because I didn't want, or that I was going to read this weekend, because I didn't want to continue the Ashfire King because I wasn't in the mood this today. And I was also just like, I just want to listen to something really easy while I'm redoing my nails because, of course. And so I ended up picking up my audiobook for Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson because I just wanted something lighthearted, fun, lighthearted. It is lighthearted, even though there's murder. Lighthearted, fun, easy to listen to, and genuinely like a really good time. And I ended up just like powering through this, listening to it, not even at 3 times speed. I think it was at 2.3 speed, and it was still like 3 hours and 45 minutes long. It was so quick as I was doing my nails, and then afterwards just running around doing a bunch of things, making dinner, that kind of a thing. And then I sat on my couch to finish the last chunk of it. And it was so good. Like, it was genuinely so fun. And I honestly, like, I love the charm and the format of the first one in this series, but this one was also really fun because it just had such a unique take on the like Murder in the Orient Express, killers on trains vibes. It had a unique take because it was a fun time. And again, our narrator has such a fun voice. I think I like the first one just a smidge more than this one, but I enjoy both of them so much. Like, Benjamin Stevenson could write these kind of books and I would read every single one of them. Yes, I will be reading the Christmas novella because, oh my God, like, I love the way he writes books. They're just so fun. They're so voicey. And like, they're a little meta, especially in this one, like the way that it just connects to, like, it's almost like our narrator is the author of this book and he's living it as he's writing it. And it's such a cool concept. So in the first one, family reunion on a mountain as he's recounting how everyone in his family has killed someone. This one, he's on a train because he wrote the book, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, and he wrote it as like a non-fiction memoir, and he's been invited onto this like crime writer, mystery writer, authors panel retreat festival thing. And it's happening on a train as this train is going from somewhere to somewhere. It's like 4 or 5 days long. He's excited because he gets to meet his favorite author and his girlfriend is there and all this kind of stuff. And then like, oh my God, somebody dies. And his whole thing is that he doesn't actually know how to write fiction, and his literary agent really wants him to write fiction as his next thing. And he has like $100,000 advance waiting for him for this book, but he's just like, I don't know how to write fiction. Like, I need somebody to die for me to write a book about it. And so it's also him like, he's like, well, shit, I guess I have a book idea now. It was really, really fun. I really enjoyed this. But yeah, it had just a bunch of different crime writers. It had the debut writer, which is him, the forensic science writer, the blockbuster writer, the legal thriller writer, the literary writer, and the psychological suspense writer. Like, it had the whole gang of people, and there's so much animosity in this literary world. And I was just giggling the entire time. I was like, this is so fun. I really enjoy these books. I think they're so good. And honestly, like, low-key would look at these two books if I ever wanted to write a full mystery. Like, yes, Sage's Story, the first one's going to be a fantasy mystery, so I probably will be pulling out these two books to like get inspiration from and like see how he kind of like knitted everything together. But like, I would honestly recommend these books so hard for anyone who wants to write a mystery because I think these are so fun. Such a cool way of looking at this genre, the mystery thriller genre, because I've never seen anything like this. I really haven't. And they're just so fun. They're so fun. I love them so much. And I hope he comes out with like 8 more, which is so funny because I know like that charm of the first one is probably gonna just go away with every single one he writes, but I love them so much. I will eat them up. I will eat them up. But yeah, so that's what I read today. And then I'm gonna go continue editing or rereading A Favorite Fae. I got pretty far yesterday. I think I got to like page like 137 of 255 of those like shrunken pages that I have. Even though this is kind of stepping on my writing vlog, I will tell you guys that I'm having a great time. And a lot of the fear that I was feeling, child is a shit disturber. A lot of the fear that I was feeling is very assuaged because I'm realizing that there's not actually that much that I have to change. And it's not a lot of like big things. Are you just being a little shit disturber knocking over all my shoes? But yeah, there's not a lot that I have to actually actively change. So we love that. I'm actually quite happy with the way things are going. So love. Anyways, I got half the book left to go though. So I'm gonna get back to it. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful. I'm gonna put my fan back on though because it is kind of warm in here now. We're getting to the season of warmth, friends. The season of warmth. It's supposed to be 26 degrees tomorrow, which is incredible. You, little muppet. She doesn't know what to do with the fan. It's a fan, baby girl. It's gonna be really fun introducing her to my air conditioner because that's loud as fuck when that turns on. So she'll get used to it, but like first few times I'm sure she's gonna be like, the fuck? And like run away. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to it and I will chat to you guys later. But yeah, new books. New books. It would be nice. It would be nice. You know? Oh, her nails are taking into. I gotta cut her nails. This is how I figure out how I gotta cut her nails. She never is mean or like intense, but just like the feeling of them, I'm like, oh, I gotta cut her nails. Anyways, this is where I'm at right now. Hi, gorgeous. Hey, baby. What's up? Girl, I got food for you. I got food for you. Do you want it? Have a good sniff. Oh, it's your favorite. It's tuna. Yeah, you lick your lips. Come on, let's go see. Let's go get some num-num. Hello, friends. Happy Sunday. I'm here with a little snack. It's just after 3. I got my child right here snoozing. Hi, baby. And we have a beautiful, sunny, warm day outside. It is like it's 27 degrees outside right now. I have my windows open because it's still like kind of cool in here, but it's definitely gonna have to be shut up in the next hour. I'm gonna have to kind of close everything to keep everything cooler because we're gonna see if I have to put on my air conditioner today. I haven't yet, but it's fine. Anyways, I had my dad come over. We got my ring from my sink and it was much more of an ordeal than it was anticipated to be because he tried to take off the trap on the bottom. He did. It wasn't in the trap, and he's like, no, it's probably because the hole of the trap is too small for this to have gone into. So we had to take off the entire U-bend of my sink, which resulted in absolutely disgusting water and realizing that there's like probably decades of hair built up, and it's disgusting. But we got the ring out. She's back and she's on my finger. It was this beautiful sapphire. Cleaned her. I had to polish her too because she was like tarnished on the sides. She's still a little tarnished in some places, but as I wear her, she's gonna be fine. I panicked when I saw the tarnish because I was like, I didn't think gold tarnished. And this is 9 karat or 10 karat gold, so like it shouldn't do that. Was I lied to by the seller? No, I just needed to polish it. I think it was just from sitting in gross sink water overnight. I think that's what did it. But yeah, my dad tried to put that U-bend back in and it wouldn't go back in. So he was like, my sink is shitty. And he like jammed it in, hammered it in, and he told me to just watch for leaks because it was kind of leaking. So I got a bowl under there right now. We might have to get someone to come in and like replace my sink underneath. Not fun. But hey, got my ring back. Since then, I've just been hanging out on my couch going through my read through of this. I have 40 pages left. I'm very excited. I'm going to try and do them now in the next like hour. Will I be able to read these 40 pages in an hour? Debatable. Debatable. But we're gonna try our hardest because it's also Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And I would really love to watch a Star Wars movie when I get home later because I'm going over to Mom and Dad's for dinner, of course. We're having pizza, which is amazing. I've been craving pizza for weeks. That's been my day. I would also like to read more. One of these bad boys sitting here I talked about previously in this video. I should probably read The Ashfire King, but my brain is like, you should start Daughters of Chaos or one of the library books. We'll see what I end up actually starting or reading a little later. If I do read anything. I do want to because I finished a book yesterday. I should keep that energy going, but who's to say? I am actually reading because I'm reading this, but like a book that's not my own. That I can count towards my reading goal right now. Because yes, I do count my own books towards my reading goal, but I only count them once in the year that I edit and publish them because obviously I read that shit so many times. Of course I'm gonna count that towards my reading goal. I read it. I wrote it. What the fuck, right? So I just can't actively right now because it's not on Goodreads right now. I gotta do that this month. Or maybe I'll save that for June when it's off with my editor and I can do all the admin stuff. Yeah, I'll just shove all the admin stuff to June. Set up pre-orders, do all that kind of stuff in June. That's what's up, that's what's happening. I'm gonna get back to it and see if I can finish these last 40 pages in the next hour before I go to Mom and Dad's for pizza. Oh, and it's such a nice day out. I'll chat to you guys a little later. But yeah, happy Sunday. Hello. What's going on, baby? Oh my goodness gracious. I shouldn't smell like anything because Freya wasn't on this. Hi. Hi, gorgeous. Where are you going? Something in the wall? I don't like that. Unless you see a bug that I am unaware of. I mean, if you find a bug. Sweetness. Are you just noticing these hooks? No? You're hunting for something. I don't know what you're doing. This tail is a sausage. Oh my god, no! You're gonna take my photos down. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Tiny weirdo. Hello, friends. Goodness me. Happy Monday. It is officially just after 11 p.m. and I am sleepy, but I need to wrap up this vlog. I also realized that I did not work on a query letter this weekend at all, which I wanted to do. And so I think after I finish editing this vlog, I'm going to try and do a rough query. I looked up a bunch of different things online for references on how to format a query. There's not really a hard and fast rule about formatting queries, but I just wanted to kind of get that back in my head because it has been a number of years since I last queried anything. The last thing I queried was my middle grade, which I pulled out of querying. After enough time, I was like, nah, it's not getting any bites at all. So pulled that. And I think I did a lot of research back then on how to write a proper query letter. I just don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. What am I trying to say? I have no idea. It's going to be interesting to see how this query kind of works and also the communication between this person that I'm getting the query critique from, to see what kind of advice they give me, which could be very interesting. But yeah, I'm excited. I have detailed what's going to happen in this book in here. So I have basically a synopsis. I just haven't written it. I just need to write a good hook. I do need to look up how to do multi-POV querying, because I know that's a specific thing. Even though you focus solely on your main character, which is Sage, obviously, I do want to make sure that multi-POV querying is done right, because I feel like it's got more going on then, there's more storylines happening, more character arcs happening, because you have multi point of view characters and they all have to be important and have their own character arcs and whatever, right? So I'm gonna look that up once I'm done editing this here vlog. But I thought maybe, because I was going to put this in this vlog, but because it's the end of the vlog, I thought maybe of doing its own little pretend query with me type of video, where I do this rough draft and I work through it with you guys, and then I also work through whatever comments that Catherine gives me. I thought that might be fun. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But anyways, this weekend was great. I ended up finishing my favorite Fae read through, which is so nice, and I am no longer plagued by the fears of the imposter syndrome, which is nice, and the fears of oh my god, what if I get super stuck editing again? That's just not gonna happen, because there's so little that I need to change in this draft, which I'm really happy about, and I'm really happy with the story, and I can see ways that I can go forward and fix it to make it even better, which is awesome. That's the dream every time I edit something. And I also read Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson, which was so fun. I have not yet read it through Cop-Out, but I definitely really enjoyed it. So it's either a 4 or 4.5 star, just like the first one. Highly recommend those books. I think they're so fun. And I read a little bit more of The Ashfire King yesterday. I think I read just over 100 pages, which we love, just kind of continuing back in that. I am not enjoying this one as much as the first one. I think that's because I read the first one, the first time I read The Stardust Thief, I read it all in one day and I loved it so much. It was 5 stars back then. And now it's more of a 4 or 4.5 star book for me, just because, my opinions change and all that kind of stuff. And this one is good. I'm just not getting as hooked as I was with The Stardust Thief, and I'm just reading it here and there. I'm not it's not calling me to pick up, which is unfortunate, because it's not a bad book. I'm just not reading it. So I need to get going on that one and boogie and read and finish that. Also, because Lindsay reached out and wanted to do a buddy read for the second Lycanius book by James Islington, which is a chunky boy. So I think she's starting that this week, so I should pick that up and start that as well. Because I think I read half of that originally last year or the year before, and I just mood readered my ass away from it. I just stopped reading it and never picked it back up again, and then it got too long of a time between when I was reading it and when I wasn't reading it, that I was just well, if I go back, I must restart this. So I'm gonna read it with Lindsay, which will be, I think, really fun. Yeah, I have that on my Kobo, so that should be fun. But yeah, this is what I'm going to do now. Once I finish editing this, I got a very sleepy bean who is upside down. Oh my goodness. We also had to turn on the air conditioner today because it got really fucking hot. But I turned it off when I got home because it had cooled 11, 12 degrees from when I had gone into work. It was plus like 28 degrees. It was hot. And then when I came out of work, I was like, I could use a sweater right now. It's very chilly. So we love that. We love that drastic change. So now I just have a fan going. If you can hear any air movement in the background, I apologize. And I have my windows open. So, because it's nice and cool outside. We love it. I love cool evenings. They're my favorite, so that I can, like, you know, open all my windows and get that good crisp air and all that good stuff. But anyways, that was the weekend, my friends. Also watched A New Hope last night for Star Wars Day. It was so good. I love that movie. Every time I watch a Star Wars movie, I just fall more and more and more in love with the franchise. And I'm so glad that I'm exploring the Star Wars world. Anyways, happy belated Star Wars Day. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in another video very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.